Welcome to another episode of TMAI. Tell me about it. I am your host, ACK. This is our 27th episode. And on this episode, we are going to be talking about workaholics. Workaholics. We are basically going to help you identify if you are a workaholic or not and what it means. I'm sure this is a place where we tell you about everything and nothing at the same time. Things you are curious about, things I'm curious about, things we are all curious about. So if you chanced upon this video while it isn't live, it means that you are using one of the platforms. You are either using Facebook, YouTube, or our portal, that is the radio.PenyGh.com. So in using these, if you want to listen live, you can join us using these channels, radio.PenyGh.com or Facebook, PenyGh, on all social media platforms. You'd be able to reach us. You can as well download the app for easy accessibility to this show. This show is at this and every Friday at 6 o'clock p.m. on the dot. For today, like I said earlier, we're going to talk about workaholics. Are you a workaholic? Am I a workaholic? Are you addicted to work or I'm addicted to work? Let's find out. This article we are going to use is from Very Well Mind. So you can go ahead and read after we are done. And then it was written by Elizabeth Hackney. She has a BSc, MC, PhD, whatever, and it goes on and on and on. And it was updated February 24, 2021. So let's start. As we are, we are all affected by the economy and all that. So we have to work to put food on the table. We have to work to be able to eat. We have to work to get a place to sleep. Work is basically a necessity at some point. Who knows? So work is in itself isn't something bad. It's not denoted as something which is bad. However, being a workaholic can be described as a disease, a mental health issue. It hasn't been confirmed. It's still in the middle. They are not trying to, is it or it isn't? But then usually when people call you a workaholic, it's usually in the negative light. Do you like working? You're a workaholic. So we are going to try and differentiate between those who like working and those who are workaholics. So although we do have the urge to make money and all that, when you have the urge, when the urge to work is more than you making money, and it's not, and you, when you're working, like if you're not working because you're passionate about it, or if you are not working because you want to make more money, or if you don't have any goal to it, and then if it's not about simply paying the bills, then there's a question mark. So let's use the article. It says that work addiction or workaholism was first used to describe an uncontrollable need to work constantly. A workaholic is someone who suffers from this condition. So it's actually a condition and people suffer from it. So although a widely recognized and accepted concept, it's widely recognized and accepted in popular culture, and then despite its existence for over 40 years in the literature or the language or whatever it is, work addiction is not a formally recognized medical condition or mental disorder. Like I said, it hasn't been approved by any scientists, socialists, whoever it is in charge of that. It does not appear in the current version of the Diagnosis and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders. Okay, so those are the people in charge of that. So one of the reasons for this lack of recognition of work addiction is that work, even excessive work, is typically thought of as a positive trait. So I think usually when you are working or you are overworking, people do not see it as something that is bad. They rather pat you on the shoulders. You are paid overtime sometimes, depending on the organization you work for. You are paid overtime for working overtime. So it is not really seen as something really negative. But then, everything has a positive and negative this attached to it. So overwork is rewarded, like I said, both financially and culturally. Yes, people will pat and then you'll be giving money, and may lead to worker being seen in a more positive light. Exactly. Imagine you are in a workplace or working environment, and then the time assigned for everyone to close is 5 p.m. And then you realize that it's 5 p.m. and then you are leaving. Immediately it's 5 on the dot and then you are leaving. You notice that it's either you are told, I don't know, people would rather stay behind, wait for like 5, 10, and then 30 minutes before they leave. So if you continue to leave on the dot when you are done working, you are seen as someone who doesn't want to work, as someone who you are seen in a negative light. But then if the other person stays back without doing nothing, just staying back, the person would probably be seen as like someone who is doing well. I remember, was it my national service? Before we were asked, we were told of the time we were going to close. But then as the explanation went on, like it's an orientation, so you could see from the one who was leading saying that although you are given or you're supposed to close this time, your efforts or the efforts of whatever it is will be shown if you're able to stay behind and then all that and help and then do blah 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 blah. Why give me 3 o'clock if you want me to close 4 o'clock? They usually don't specify. If they give you 3 o'clock and you try to leave 3 o'clock, you're not showing a good attitude towards the work and all that. There's all those negativity attached to it. Meanwhile, you are actually doing what is right because you've been given the time. So that is work for you. So, in similar ways to addiction, work can be like a very real problem, and then it can affect people's functioning and relationships in the society. So, problem associated with work. Although excessive work is often well regarded and even rewarded, there are problems associated with work addiction. So, workaholism is addiction to work. As with other addictions, work addiction is driven by compulsion rather than by a healthy sense of fulfillment. That is common among people who simply put a lot of effort and dedication into their job, or people who are deeply committed to their work as a vocation. Working overtime or being a workaholic does not necessarily mean that you are being devoted to, there's a difference between being passionate about your work and putting in effort about your work and then being addicted to the work. So people fall prey to work addiction. With them, they are not happy about the work that they find themselves in, but then the work overtime. There are days you are supposed to work overtime. It's a given, like certain circumstances. It's not all the time that you end up working overtime, but then there are some days, maybe for like 2 weeks in a row, because of a project, because of something, you're supposed to work overtime. That is understandable. But then if you're working overtime almost every day, starting work at 8 and then going over the working hours and then closing at somewhere like 9, 10, then there's a question mark. And some people, and sometimes people become workaholics because of the bosses they have. Because if your boss has not closed by this time and then you work under this boss and then you're supposed to lock all the gates or something, you end up staying at the office for only God knows how long, and then it becomes what it is. So, in fact, people who fall prey to work addiction may be quite unhappy and distressed about work. They may be overly concerned about work. They may feel out of control of their desire to work, and they may spend so much time, energy, and effort on work that it impairs non-work relationship. Okay, so they do it to the extent that it affects their non-relationship work. apart from the work life, we have different lives. We have the personal life, and then we have the social life. And then that is what people find it difficult doing, drawing a line between their work life, their personal life, and then their social life, because they feel like they'll be stepping on toes if they tell you this is my personal time, or it's time for my personal time, or it's time for my social life. They find it difficult to tell people, especially who are higher than them in ranks and all that, because it could lead to what it could lead. Like the whole fear thing is, I feel like fear is one of the reasons people become workaholics, at least to me. So these are the signs and symptoms. We are here. Are you a workaholic? Let's go to the signs and symptoms of a workaholic. Okay, so increased busyness without an increase in productivity. So if you are always busy, but then in your productivity is not showing how busy you are, then please, it's a sign you are becoming a workaholic. And then obsessiveness, thinking about how you can free up more time for work. I mean, you are home, enjoy the moment. Why would you be thinking of freeing time for work? I bet I like sleeping too much. That's why. Spending more time working than intended. Okay, so like I'm supposed to close at 5, and then I spend more time working. I close at 8. You are a workaholic. Excessive use of work to maintain one's self-worth. Poof. People do that a lot. I don't know. There are some people that I know. Like their work shows their self-worth. So it's more like someone saying that your CV shows how worthy you are. Like, you know. Another symptom is ignoring suggestions or requests from others to cut down on work. You're closing at 10 p.m. You're going to work at 7 a.m. and people are telling you to chillax. But then you're still going. You are a workaholic. I'm seeing someone. Relationship problems resulting from overwork or preoccupation with work. That is another sign. Health problems resulting from work-related stress or overwork. Another sign. Using work as a way of coping with or escaping or numbing feelings. So instead of you facing your feelings, you're saying you have to work. Okay. Developing tolerance to work. So needing to work more to get the same effect. You know, no matter the number of projects you work on, you're not going to get the same results. Sometimes it's gonna be good, sometimes it's gonna be bad, sometimes it's not gonna be good at all. So trying to get the same results, it's a sign that you are a workaholic. Becoming stressed if prevented from working, or experiencing withdrawal if you are not working. I'm not a workaholic. From all these points, it shows I'm not a workaholic. But from these signs and symptoms, are you a workaholic? Relapsing to overwork when you try and cut down or stop. Well, I wish I'll cut down on work and then watch some movies, sleep and get some good sleep, good night, good whatever sleep it is, good afternoon sleep, good morning sleep. Enjoy some movies, whatever it is. So no. So these signs and symptoms of work addiction share many characteristics with other addictions, of course, particularly other behavioral addiction, in which the commitment to the activity or behavior becomes increasingly more important and overshadows other important areas of life and relationships. So what if I might be addicted to work? What are you supposed to do if you think you're addicted to work? Let's delve into that. If you think you may be addicted to work, try taking a break and see how you feel. This is like assessing your feelings. If you think you are addicted to work, try and sit back, like get back, and then I believe certain rules for yourself, like your work time, separating your work time from your personal life, social life. You know, if you're unable to switch off from thinking about work, and if you sense you are escaping into work to avoid other responsibilities or uncomfortable feelings, you may benefit from treatments from a mental health professional. That means you have gotten to the overly extent. So although you are unlikely to find a work addiction treatment program, many of the approaches used to treat other addiction can be used to help control a range of addiction behaviors. So with this, it's basically saying that we got the symptoms, and then we got what you're supposed to do to find out if you are a workaholic. But what I think you should do if you're a workaholic is separate your time. You know, I don't know if it's because of our part of the world we find ourselves in, but then working or being a workaholic is seen too normal to the extent that if you are not working overtime or if you're not being a workaholic, that shows or you become like you are rather seen in a negative light because you are not being like a workaholic. You are probably trying to stick to your time. You are probably trying to separate your work from your personal life. And working, it's all in the name of trying to get money, put food on the table and all that. So this is not saying we shouldn't work. I'm not saying that. The article isn't saying that. It's saying that the amount of work or the kind of work you do shouldn't have an impact, a negative impact on your life as an individual. So you shouldn't be having, like, there should be a balance between everything. There should be a balance between your work life, your social life, your personal life, and whatever life you want to have. You know, there are some people who have their personal lives, like 3 types of personal lives. One where they have their own personal work apart from the very 9 to 5 work that they do, you know. So personal life, work life, or however it is, it shouldn't interfere with the others. Because if you are being stressed, if you are, you know, sometimes when you'd realize that the overtime that you've done, the amount you get, if you had gotten a better sleep, you wouldn't have gone to the hospital with the money you got from the overtime. So health first. You take your health, like, think of your health first before you try to overwork yourself, because work can be addictive. So you have to make a conscious effort to allocate the time, the amount of time needed for your work, so you do not become a work addict. Because addiction as a whole, it's something very difficult to cut down on. So that is it for the first segment. We will be going to the second segment of the day. And for the second segment, it is where you ask me questions you have in mind, questions you want me to answer. So these are some of the questions that I got. Interesting. See, what is it? Let's hear it. Did I mess it up? I think I can't find the questions again. Oh my. Okay. I think I answered some last. So this is the very first question for today. What is something you got away with as a child that your family still do not know about? If I told you that now, my family would know about that. And then it no longer becomes something I got away with as a child. So, poof. Not telling. What are the common reasons for friendship to fall apart? Common reasons: pride, anger, relocation, So far, those are the things that I've seen destroy a lot of friendship. You know, they do not want to come waiting on the other person to come and apologize and blah 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 blah. Poof, cut friendship. Sometimes when you relocate to different places, you realize that you are not in contact with your old friends and all that. But now there's the internet, so I don't know. It depends on the connection. Oh yes, and lack of effort. You know, sometimes when someone is putting in the effort, and it has to be like a give and take something. People think that should be from only, should I call it love relationship, romantic relationship. That is when you put in effort. But then for friendship as well, you're supposed to put in effort. You're supposed to call, you're supposed to text, you're supposed to find out. They are all relationships. Keeping a relationship is all about communication. So yes, there it comes again. Communication. Communication. What is the best way to meet new friends? Me? That you are asking. I don't know the best way to meet new friends because I lack with that. But then wait. Go to, yeah, I think if you go to parties, if you go to new places you've never been to, if you get the courage to call someone on the roadside and say hola, como estás, and then the person laughs, and then you've made a new friend. You can actually try doing that one day. That particular day, you just go out on the street. Anyone you meet, you feel the person can be a good friend, you just walk up to the person. Oh, hello. You look so nice. I wish I could be your friend. You know, who knows? It's a very nice way. I've got to try that. Or you want to go to some parties or whatever it is to make new friends. All up to you. But there are so many ways of making new friends. And then it looks like everything about today is on friendship. What's a hobby you've always wanted to try? Well, life is short. What is a hobby I've always wanted to try? With me, I'm trying out so many things. So I'm trying out learning the guitar. I'm trying out mastering the flutes. I'm trying out radio. What am I trying out? I'm trying out so many things. A hobby. I've tried out so many things. I don't even know a hobby I haven't tried. Maybe singing. Maybe drumming. Maybe. Oh yes, I just got a hobby I want to try out. Ballet. Yeah, that is a hobby I want to try out. That is something I've been wishing, like dance. Not the normal dance, but something like ballet. I don't even know if I'm pronouncing it correctly. Oh, basically that is something I want to try out. So the last question I'm gonna answer. If you had this week to do over again, what would you do differently? Nothing. Oh yes, I would have studied a little bit. I would have watched some of the videos for my exams tomorrow. That is what I would have done differently, because it looks like today I have some all night to do because of the examination. So because I didn't study, because I didn't watch the videos earlier, I have to watch all the videos. That is what I would have done differently. Yeah. So that brings us to an end of this episode of TMAI, where you asked me some questions and then I have answered the questions you're curious about. So catch me listen every Friday at 6:00 p.m. at PenyGh. Hope for the hopeless. Yeah, I think I've said it already. Yes. And then if you do not have to watch it 6:00 all the time, the videos would be available for replay anytime, anywhere. You can be washing the dishes while doing that. You can be driving while doing that. You can, if you do not want to see my face, you can go along with the audio aspect of it. Who knows? You can join our Facebook group. Tell me about it on Facebook. Yes, our Facebook group on Facebook. Yes, for updates, information, and the likes of the program. And then you can send in your questions about things that you are curious about there as well. We have a WhatsApp group as well, but then join the Facebook group, whichever social media group. You can contact us using all the social media platform, and then you can as well sponsor us through this means. Just contact us. We are always available. You can call us on 054-382-9571. 054-382-9571. Should I say it in French? 05 and anyway. I end there. My friend has ended. Thank you for tuning in to today's episode. This was ACK on the program. Told me about it. Samida. Adios. See you same time next week, 6 o'clock p.m. Bye bye.